Hi friends, in this tutorial we will see how to encrypt text using DES or DES encryption. So let's get started. Now I have already written this script in here. So the first line, what it does is that I'm saying from this module called crypto.cipher import DES. So what it will do is that it will import the DES function from this module crypto.cipher. After that, I'm creating a key on this line. So think of it as the password that is used to encrypt the text. So this key can be anything. From here, I have typed hello123, so it can be anything that you specify. Down here, I have created a function called pad, and as an input, it is taking text. So whatever we type for this parameter, this function below, it will operate on this text. So this is the input for this function. Now in here, I'm running a while loop. So I'm saying while the length of text. So in here, what this text is, whatever it is, I'm checking its length. Now let's run this Python 3. So I'm creating something like key, and I'm saying ABC123. So len, and then I'm typing key 6. So the len function, what it does is that it shows the length of the text. So in here I'm checking the length of text, and I'm saying modulus 8. So it is checking, dividing it by 8. So what does this modulus does is that it divides it and it shows the remainder. So let me open this again. So if I do something like 7 divided by 2, it is 3.5. However, if I do something like 7 modulus 2, so what it does is that it shows us 7. Why is it like this? Because 3 multiply by 2 is this one from here. That's why I'm multiplying it by 2 is 6. So if we deduct 6 from 7, we get 1. So modulus shows us the remainder of it. Now in here I'm saying that if the length of this you divide it by it, and if the remainder of it is not equal to 0, then what you do is that you add a space at the end of it. Why? Because the thing with this is that if you don't do that, this encryption is not going to work, because this, what it does is that the DES encryption algorithm, it takes inputs in 8 characters or in 8 bytes. So if you are passing something like in here, let's say A, B, C, D, it is 4. It's not going to work. So what this function does is that it adds 4 spaces to the end of it to make sure that it is a total of 8 characters or 8 bytes. So that is what this function does. It adds spaces until it is in multiples of 8. So it's 8, 16, 24, 32, whatever. So what it does is that it checks everything, makes sure everything is in multiples of 32. If it is less, what it does is that it adds spaces at the end of it. After that, in here, I'm creating an object called des. And remember this, this that I imported. So this is this one in here, and I'm using the new function of this submodule called des. So it takes 2 parameters, the new function. The first one is the key. So this is the key that we defined in here. This is what we will use to encrypt our text, our file, or whatever it is with. So this is the key or the password that we will encrypt with. The second, this is the encryption mode. One of the encryption modes is this mode ECB. There are, however, other different modes of encryption, which I will cover in the next few tutorials. After that, I'm creating another variable. This one is called text. So what it does is that it contains the text that I'm going to be encrypting. So for now being, it is this. Python is the best language. So this is what will be encrypted using this key. In here, I'm creating another variable called padded text. And I notice this pad, this is this function. And I'm passing in text. So this is this text in here. It doesn't have to be text, it can be anything. So let's say if you do something like this, text1 is equal to, and in here I'm passing text1, it doesn't matter, name can be anything. So I'm passing this text one. So let's do this quickly also, so it might come in useful. So let's save this, exit out of it, cd documents, python 3, this. So in here, what this, let me print it, I forgot to print, padded text. Now let's run this again, and let's see. Notice this in here, guys. So Python is the best language. Now if we do something like this, first let's do this print length, and then for this we type something like padded, sorry, text, and run it again. Print length of text1, yes, text1. Notice it says 28. So this Python is the best language. It is 28 bytes or 28 characters. However, we want it to be in multiples of 8. So 8, 16, 24, 32. So it has to be in 32. Now what we need is we need 4 spaces. So notice this at the end of it. It is up until here, it is 28. So this is 29, this is 30, 31, and 32. Notice when I move it to the right, this time the whole line gets highlighted. So up until here, what it does is that it shows us that it has added 4 spaces at the end of it to make sure it is in multiples of 8. So that is why we use this function. This is the functionality of this padded text. Sorry, the pad function. This is why we use this function called pad. After that, what we do is that we are creating another variable. It is called encrypted text. So what it does is that I'm passing in again this that I imported from here. However, this time I'm using the encrypt function of it. Previously I used new, now I'm using the encrypt, and I'm passing this padded text, this object that we created in here. So what it contains is this line: Python is the best language, with 4 spaces at the end. So it is in multiples of 8. After that, what I'm saying down here is that print encrypted text. So what it does is that it encrypts that text. So let's run this again. Now you can see that. Let me do it and clear the screen and run this again. Now you can see that this shows us the encrypted string. So what it does is that it takes this line, Python is the best language, and it encrypts it using this hello 123. However, if we change our password to something like this, what up, and run this again, so it says the key must be 8 bytes long, not 6. Now notice this, it says not 6, so it's 1 2 3 4 5 6, so it's 6. Now if we add something like this, like 1 2 at the end of it, and run it again, notice this, it is encrypted the text, and this is different from this one, the above line. Why? Because we changed the password. So every time you change it, this gets changed. And one more thing, guys, if you add just another, let's say we are putting another exclamation point to the end, and we are running it again, notice this, up until in here. So this time it has reduced. Now let's change this again to something like is the best language in the world, encrypted, run it again. Notice this time it has, the line length has changed again. So every time you add or remove characters from the line that you are trying to encrypt, what it will do is that the encrypted text, the size of it also gets increased or decreased. So it's not like it's fixed. Other than that, the last line, so how do we decrypt it? So in here I printed the encrypted key. So if you run it again, sorry, this time in here, so this is the encrypted text. Now let's decrypt it. In order to decrypt it, what we do is that we are again using the this module, submodule from here, and then I'm using the decrypt function of it. So previously, one function that we used, the new, This time again we use the encrypt, and this time you're using the decrypt function of the this submodule, and then we are passing the encrypted text which we printed from here, and this is the one I'm talking about. So if we save it and run this again, notice this is the same as the above, encrypted. However, at the end we get this unencrypted text also. Notice this spaces 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This time there is like 7 spaces because it has to be in the multiples of 8. This is it for this tutorial, guys. If you have any questions, any suggestions or recommendations, feel free to put it in the comment section below. And if you found this tutorial useful, make sure to share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.